Welcome back to Sportfolio. Any other November, Mike Krzyzewski's record 903rd win might have been pushed aside by highlights of Blake Griffin or Kobe Bryant. But when Coach K hit that milestone 2 months ago, the NBA was still locked out. And you'd think he'd be pleased at not having to share the spotlight with the pros? Not so.
Well, I would have really missed the NBA if they didn't play. One, because they're the best players in the world. And I think it helps the college game to be shown against the NBA. You know, they're two different entities. The other thing is the national coach of the United States team. I want to see the guys that I'm going to coach in London next summer and evaluate them, and because we're going to have a tough decision-making process to pick the final 12.
Tough decision-making process, but now you got a 66-game compressed schedule, injuries, burnout, stressed athletes. Is it going to make London harder for you?
The only way it'll make London harder is if one of the key guys gets hurt and can't play. These guys want to play in London, and I think it's going to be the key issue for the NBA is who stays healthy throughout the year. It's such a tough schedule, especially for the veteran teams, the older players.
Yeah. Now, as far as the issue of a motivated NBA athlete, you're probably one of the few guys on the planet that understand that these guys don't necessarily play for money. They played for you, for the love of the game. What do you say to the cynics who talk about these overpaid athletes?
Well, I love our guys. You know, they wanted to represent their country, and for those people who are cynics, let me put it in this perspective. These players have a dog's life in their careers. If they go 12 years, 13 years, they're not lawyers, doctors, coaches for their whole lives, and they give up summers and the potential of getting hurt to play for their country for no pay. And I'm 100% behind all the players, and especially this group, because they don't play for the United States, for United States basketball. They are United States basketball, and for them to understand that is a really beautiful thing.
And they also play as friends. So you say a dog's life. 3 big dogs who are now Miami Heat talked about chemistry, and they decided basically to come together, you know, on your back at Team USA. Do you think NBA players ought to be able to maneuver to get to be on the same team? Is that what basketball ought to be, or do you understand the other side of it as well?
Well, I think there are always two sides to every issue, but I do think that a player, especially a star player, contractually, that's what they negotiate, the ability to move to a different market if they see fit. You know, Miami made an interesting financial commitment and then could not bring up the rest of their team, you know, and so now how they've juggled that this year to become even better, I think it's one of the really good business moves that somebody could make.
Well, they also got smarter because now they got Shane Battier.
They do have Shane, and you know the Arison family they're very close friends of mine, and I don't think a player could play for a better franchise than the Arison family.
Speaking of money in the NBA, so I don't know whether the pundits ever talked about the Laker offer. You had a Trailblazer offer, $15 million a year with the Nets. That's big money. How close were you ever?
I think the closest I ever came was the Lakers. Just because of wanted to coach Kobe. I love Kobe. Kobe was going to come to Duke and went right out of high school. And the Laker franchise is one of the storied franchises in all of sport. But it wasn't a money issue. It was really, I just couldn't leave Duke. I love Duke. It's one of those things where they put prices of everything and then they say priceless. And again, I get paid a lot of money in that now. But I love Duke. I love the state of North Carolina and the fact that my family's here.
It's just 6 months.